Experience better days with a bigger, better 4G. Hutch 4G, now bigger and better.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa arrived at the sacred Kalaniya temple at 8:30 this morning for his swearing-in ceremony. Public representatives and foreign envoys were present, while a large public gathering was also seen at the sacred premises. Then President Gotabaya Rajapaksa arrived at the temple after a short while. Following the national anthem, the swearing-in ceremony of the new Prime Minister commenced at a stage arranged at the temple premises at an auspicious time, and it was worked off with the blessings of the Buddhist clergy.
Mahinda Rajapaksa වන මම ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී සමාජවාදී ජනරජයේ අග්‍රාමාත්‍ය ධූරයේ කාර්ය සහ ආණ්ඩුක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථාව සහ නීතියට අනුකූලව අවංක යුතු කරන බවට ගෞරව බහුමානී යුක්තව ප්‍රකාශ කොට ප්‍රතිඥා දෙමි. බාලේන සදා සත්‍ය භවන්තු තේ භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ සංඝානුභාවේන.
Afterwards, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa paid his respects to his elder brother, who took oath as Sri Lanka's new Prime Minister. Subsequently, both the President and the Prime Minister engaged in religious observances, led by Chief Incumbent of the Kalaniya Temple, Most Venerable Professor Kollupitiya Mahinda Sangharakkhitha Thera. The head of state and the Premier then paid tribute to the public who had converged near the entrance of the temple. After concluding the swearing-in ceremony in Kalaniya, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa then arrived at the Gangarama Temple in Colombo.
තුන්වෙනි යුද්ධය ආරම්භ කළා කරගෙන යනවා. පළවෙනි යුද්ධය ජයග්‍රහණය කළා රට බේරා ගන්න. දෙවෙනි යුද්ධය කොරෝනා වෛරසය ඒකත් බොහෝ දුරට සමතයකට පත් කරගෙන තියෙන මොහොතක ආර්ථික යුද්ධය සෞභාග්‍යයේ දැක්ම තුලින් ඉස්සරහට ගිහිල්ලා ඒක ජයග්‍රහණය කරා. ඉතින් ඒකත් ජයග්‍රහණය කරන්න ශ්‍රී ලාංකික හැමෝම ඔබතුමත් එක්ක හිටගනී කියන විශ්වාසය අපිට තියෙනවා. බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ දේශනා කරන්නේ විනය තමයි ශාසනයේ ආයුෂ. විනය යම් දවසක පිරිහෙනවද එදාට සම්බුද්ධ ශාසනය විනාශ වෙනවා. ඉතින් අපේ රටේ අපි හිතනවා විනය සකස් කරලා විනයගරුක රටක් හැටියට ඉස්සරහට යන්නත් අපිට මේක තමයි අවස්ථාව.
The Prime Minister then called on the Chief Incumbent of the Vidyalankara Pirivena in Paliyagoda, Chancellor of the Kalaniya University, Most Venerable Dr. Valamitiyave Kusaladhamma Thera. The Premier then called on Chancellor of the University of Sabaragamuwa, Agamaha Pandita, Most Venerable Professor Kamburugamuwa Vajira Thera. Prime Minister Rajapaksa also engaged in religious observances at the Sri Abhayarama Temple in Narahempita. In the meantime, several celebrations were also worked off in different areas of the island following the swearing-in of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Now, this is a look back on the political career of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Born on the 18th of November in 1945, Mahinda Rajapaksa was elected to the parliament in 1970 as the youngest parliamentarian. He contested the polls from Beliatta, which was an electoral district back then. He served as the Cabinet Minister of Labour, Fisheries and Aquatic Resources between the years of 1994 and 2001. Rajapaksa was then appointed leader of the opposition in 2002, and in 2004 he became the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka for the first time. In 2005, however, Rajapaksa contested the presidential election against the leader of the United National Party, Ranil Wickremesinghe. It saw him being elected as the fifth executive president of Sri Lanka. After his ascendancy to the country's top office, Mahinda Rajapaksa and his government took steps to hold several rounds of peace talks with the LTTE terrorists during the ceasefire at a time when the LTT was carrying out massacres in many parts of the country under the pretext of the ceasefire. The LTT, however, disregarded the government's efforts to maintain peace and prompted then-President Mahinda Rajapaksa to declare war after the terror group blocked the Mavilaru sluice gate. As a result, Sri Lanka launched the world's largest humanitarian operation to rescue thousands of Sri Lankans from the grip of the LTTE while dealing with international pressure and intervention brought on by the war amidst a massive global economic crisis. On the 18th of May 2009, under the leadership of President Mahinda Rajapaksa, ended the three-decade-long war with the eradication of the world's most fierce terrorist organization. Following the LTT's defeat, in 2010, Mahinda Rajapaksa was once again elected as president, and during his tenure he paved the way for many large-scale construction projects such as the Mattala Rajapaksa Hambantota Airport, the Hambantota Harbour, the Southern Expressway, the Ranminithanne Telecinema Village, the Utturu Asante Development Project, the Nelumpokana Mahinda Rajapaksa Theatre and the Colombo Lotus Tower, while taking the country's economic growth to 7%. However, despite losing the 2015 presidential election, Mahinda Rajapaksa contested the polls from the Kurunegala district and entered the parliament. He later led the formation of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna and was sworn in as Prime Minister for the second time on the 26th of October in 2018. His third stint as Prime Minister came after Gotabaya Rajapaksa became the President in November last year. Mahinda Rajapaksa was elected to Parliament after polling the highest number of preferential votes in the country's history with 527,364 in the general election, worked off on the 5th of August this year. In the process, he paved the way for the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna to obtain a crucial two-thirds majority. Today, Mahinda Rajapaksa was sworn in as the Prime Minister, becoming the only politician to be the Executive President twice and to be Prime Minister 4 times. Derana congratulates the new Prime Minister, Mahinda Rajapaksa. We will see you shortly after this break. Stay tuned.